Okay, here we are in my extracting room. I'll take you through things. We have this overhead hoist. It's called a load balancer. Technically, it's pneumatic. Lifts the box. I run two extracting lines. One operator can do both sides. And we typically just leave both uncappers running. Oops. The boxes go down a conveyor. I use the slotted style knives. I think they're both safer and more efficient. These early frames don't have a whole lot of fattening. And because I use 10 frames, my frames never get that fat anyway. Like, it cuts the cappings off just fine. Both extractors have their own pumps. And I have just a very small sump that captures both. Everything from that tube comes from under the uncapper, and it's connected to the extractor there. I'll lift the lid. So the pump typically keeps it pretty empty. Unloading station. Looks like we're behind. I have to steam. These are just residential steam shower units, one over each extractor. If you install such a thing, make sure you have the hose go up first, so that any sort of gurgling water falls back in and then goes down and then into the bottom of the extractor. And I have a pinhole at the bottom of the hose so that any water weeps out. So it's only blowing steam. I have the same system on the other. And that is designed so that when the extractor is sitting still, the steam blows in the space between the frames. It's kind of hard to see from here. From there you can see that if that steam was left on, it's that brass fitting right there, and it leaves, there's that gap in the extractor there that it's lined up with. So it's not blowing at any one or a small number of frames. And that steam really helps get the last little bit of honey out of your frames. We updated the electronics on both machines so that they have a little timer and a chime. So we run with two machines, we run a fairly long cycle. If we wanted to tighten it up in terms of timing, we'd have to add more people to the system. But it doesn't take very long to get through a pallet of boxes. Over here is my spinner. We haven't run enough honey yet to even have some wax accumulate. But there's the real stuff right there. New this year is an overhead lift. I still need to find a curly extension cord for it, but that'll has my drum lifter so that I can come right down on the spinner and lift the drum out of it without getting the forklift involved. And it's on a track so that it'll swing out and I can lower the spinner drum out for cleaning. That's the control unit for the spinner. And I always check the valves first, but it's amazing how you can still get that wrong. Spare belts right where we need them. And the sizes written right there where we might need it. I think I've shown you this before, but this is my electronic grandpa. Dad used to climb up on the steps pretty regularly to make sure the tanks didn't overfill. Now we have the system for that so that this will warn, the alarm will go, and red light if the spinner sump is too full. Tank 1 will amber, gives us about 30 minutes warning, and then about to overflow. And it'll both have the alarm, audio alarm, and visual alarm. It worked great. We didn't have a spill last year. It has a little reset button so that after you can press that, then you had a 5-minute delay before. It's like a snooze alarm. But the rule is if you press that button, you've got to get on the problem. For operator comfort, I have a couple of large capacity fans blowing, one there and one there. That one shoots down right between the extractors. A little bit of air movement makes a world of difference. And then I have my natural light way up high. You can see a few bees already accumulating there. But by having those well out of the spaces that people are acting, we really keep the bees out of your hair.